Hi mga ka-cordates, it's me Sir Yong and welcome to my channel. A virus is composed of a protein coat and a nucleic acid. A virion infects cell and controls its cellular machinery to produce more viruses. The most common example of a virus is a human immunodeficiency virus, or also known as an HIV. And the most timely relevant virus nowadays is a coronavirus. So, a virus is a non-living thing lacking the complete characteristics that define life. On the other hand, bacteria is a unicellular organisms which may also cause diseases such as tuberculosis, strep throat, and meningitis. So, in this video, we are going to discuss about the differences between the viruses and bacteria. We will begin our study on viruses and bacterial cells by performing a simple activity first. Given the illustration of a typical virus and a bacterial cell, you must answer the following question. First is, how will you differentiate a virus and a bacterium in terms of size, shape, and composition? Number 2, is a virus a living thing? Number 3, what are the diseases caused by a virus, and how about caused by a bacterial cells? Now, if you know already the answer, just comment your answer below. And for those who haven't done yet, just finish watching the video in order for you to answer those questions. So let's talk about viruses. So viruses are parasites that enter in our cells. So viruses cannot reproduce on their own. Thus, they use the machinery of the cell that they infected to reproduce. So viruses is composed of a nucleic acid, which it's either a DNA or RNA, and also a protein coat. There are many viruses exist, some of which are found to be the cause of cancer. So, example here is human papilloma virus, which can convert the host cell into a cancer cells rather than killing it. So, since the reproduction of the virus nag-requires na gamitin ang cellular machinery of the infected cells, so it has been used by the molecular studies to understand how the cell works. So, the best example of the virus na ginamitan ng molecular studies is the bacteriophage. So, ang structure ng bacteriophage, of course, meron siyang head which contains the DNA, meron siyang neck, merong collar, tapos meron siyang sheath. Tapos, sa baba niya, meron siyang tail fiber, or tinatawag din siyang base plate. Now, pag-usapan natin ngayon ang viral diseases. So, since, diba, sabi natin kanina that the viral infection occurs when the virus enters to the host and use the host cell to reproduce itself. Now, since nakapasok na po yung virus doon sa cell, iko-control na po ng virus ang nucleic acid, which is the DNA, or it's either the RNA. So, iko-control na po niya yon, at saka the protein making process. So, iko-control. Since na-control na siya, so magre-reproduce na siya or magduduplicate na siya within the cell mismo. So, the cell is termed, so magiging, ang cell na ngayon is magiging factory na siya in producing other viruses, or magduduplicate na siya within the cell. So, the main defense of the production of the cellular proteins is called the interferons. Now, ang interferons is siya po yung pipigil ng reproduction of the virus in the infected cell. And also, they stimulated surrounding the cell to resist the invasion of the viral particles. After the infection, the body's immune system usually maintain a lifelong resistance to a particular virus. So let's discuss now the bacteria. Bacterium is a prokaryotic cell, which means it lacks a membrane-bound organelles such as nucleus. Now, bacterial cells reproduce through binary fission, in which two new bacteria is produced from the parent bacterium. The types of bacterial cells are divided into two kingdoms, the kingdom Archaebacteria and the kingdom Eubacteria. So, pag-usapan natin ngayon ang dalawang kingdoms. Kingdom Archaebacteria. Archaebacteria are found in the extreme environment such as volcanoes, salt water, and swamp. So, these microbes are categorized as being extremophiles or microorganisms that can survive in the extreme environment on the earth. These microorganisms can live in water with a temperature of 90 degrees Celsius and negative 4 degrees Celsius. So, they are also found in highly acidic and salty water. An example of an Archaebacteria is Sulfolubus acidocaldarius. So makikita po siya doon sa water of caldera or doon sa lake of a volcanic depression na may temperature na 75 degrees Celsius at saka may pH level na ranges between 1 to 6. Another example which can be isolated to the hydrothermal vent of the Pacific Ocean, which ranges the temperature between 50 degrees Celsius to 86 degrees Celsius in underwater pressure, is the Methanococcus janetsky. This organism produces methane by utilizing hydrogen gas as a source of energy and a carbon dioxide as a source of carbon. Another bacterial kingdom is the Eubacteria. This kingdom is composed of a common bacterial cells such as Cyanobacteria, Spirochaete, and the Proteobacteria. Cyanobacteria are found in the aquatic environment, so they are also photosynthetic. These microbes have thick cell walls and doesn't have flagella. So an example of Cyanobacteria is Arthrospera platensis, so which is sold as food. Spirochaete, on the other hand, are helically coiled bacterial cells, so they have a flagellum that allows them to move. One example of Spirochaete is Treponema pallidum, so which causes syphilis. It is a sexually transmitted disease. Lastly, the Proteobacteria are anaerobic organisms, so they also have a flagellum that allows them to move. One example of the Proteobacteria is the Escherichia coli, so it is found in the intestinal gut. E. coli releases vitamins such as vitamin K, which is beneficial to its host. Furthermore, some strains of E. coli causes diarrhea and urinary infections for humans. So let's talk about the bacterial diseases. So bacterial infections occurs in one of a two way, by damaging the living tissue or by producing a poisonous substance called toxins, which can interfere with the metabolism of the host. So there are two types of toxins, the exotoxins and the endotoxins. Ang exotoxins, it is a proteins that secretes by the bacteria into the organisms or a system of the bacteria that invades. Tapos, ang endotoxins naman are the lipopolysaccharides in the cell wall of the bacteria. Bacterial infections usually treated by chemicals called antibiotics. So ang antibiotics ngayon ang magpipigil doon sa bacterial growth, tapos they directly attack the harmful bacteria without harming the surrounding tissue. At yun po ang differences between the viruses and bacteria. To sum it up, viruses are intercellular parasites which consist of nucleic acid covered by the protein coat. They may contain either DNA or RNA as their genetic material. Bacteria naman are unicellular organisms which lack of membrane-bound organelles such as nucleus. Archaeobacteria thrive to the extreme environment and also called as extremophiles. Another bacterial kingdom is the eubacteria. So this bacteria is composed of prokaryotic microorganisms. Eubacteria are the most numerous microorganisms here on Earth. And that is the summary of my discussion. I hope nasagutan na yung mga tanong ko kanina, and if you have already your answer, just comment your answer below. Goodbye mga chordates and see you sa ating next vlog.